4.7 million years ago, Earth was a very different place. The land was wild, the forests thick, and giant predators ruled the world. Early humans were not kings of this planet. They were just fragile creatures, struggling to survive each day. Imagine waking up in a world where every sound could mean danger. The roar of a lion, the hiss of a snake, the shadow of a hawk above. Survival was not easy, and for early humans, every single day was a fight between life and death. But somehow, they made it. They learned, they adapted, and they fought back. And because of their strength, their courage, and their will to survive, we are here today. This is the story of how early humans managed to survive 4.7 million years ago. At this time, the Earth was home to creatures that looked a little like us, but not exactly. These were our earliest ancestors, small, fragile, and always afraid. They are known to us as Australopithecus. They did not live in tall cities. They did not build houses, and they had no weapons. Instead, they lived in forests and open grasslands. Their life was simple, but very dangerous. They walked on two legs, which gave them a chance to see far across the plains. But their bodies were weak compared to the predators around them. A single leopard, lion, or giant hyena could tear them apart in seconds. So how did they survive? They relied on one secret: their brain. Even though early humans were small, their mind helped them find food, create groups, and slowly learn how to fight against nature. The Earth at this time was harsh and unforgiving. Climate kept changing, sometimes hot and dry, sometimes wet and stormy. Finding food was never easy. Early humans ate fruits, roots, insects, and sometimes meat. But they had no farms, no tools for farming. If food was gone in one place, they had to move. Water was also a challenge. Rivers dried up. Lakes became dangerous homes for crocodiles. And sometimes, long droughts made life almost impossible. But humans did something other animals could not do. They traveled. They searched for new places. They learned to explore. And that skill, to move, to adapt, became their weapon for survival. Life 4.7 million years ago was a nightmare. Humans were not the hunters, they were the hunted. The grasslands and forests were full of killers. Giant saber-toothed cats with long, sharp fangs waited in the shadows. Hyenas larger than any alive today hunted in packs, ready to tear flesh apart. Crocodiles lurked in rivers, silent but deadly, waiting for any creature that came close to drink. For early humans, danger never ended. A single mistake could mean death. That is why they stayed in groups. Together, they had more eyes to watch, more voices to warn. And still, survival was never guaranteed. Many times, early humans lost family members to beasts. But these painful lessons taught them something: to always be alert, adapt. But then, something amazing happened. Our ancestors learned to use tools. At first, it was simple. A sharp rock became a knife. A stick became a weapon. With these, they could cut meat, crack open bones for rich marrow, or scare off smaller predators. It was a turning point in history. For the first time, humans had a way to fight back. The tools were rough, but they gave humans an edge. With stones, they could hunt small animals. With sharp edges, they could skin prey and prepare food faster. These tools were not just weapons. They were a sign of something bigger. They showed intelligence, creativity, and planning. Humans were no longer helpless. Step by step, they were becoming survivors. Then came fire, one of the greatest discoveries in human history. At first, fire was frightening. A natural blaze from lightning could burn down forests. But humans learned its secret. They realized fire was not only danger, it was power. With fire, nights became safer. Beasts feared the flames. Humans could cook food, making it softer, tastier, and easier to digest. Cooked food gave them more energy, which helped their brains grow even stronger. Fire also gave them warmth in freezing nights, and a place to gather. Around the fire, humans shared food, stories, and safety. It became the heart of their survival. This one discovery changed everything. Fire turned fragile humans into true survivors. As humans grew smarter, they discovered a truth that changed everything. Alone, they were weak. Together, they were strong. Early humans began to form families and small groups. In these groups, they hunted together, shared food, and protected one another. Mothers cared for children, and elders shared wisdom about dangers, water holes, and safe paths. This sense of belonging gave humans something no other animal had: community. If one was injured, the group helped. If predators attacked, they fought together. Slowly, communication began to grow. Not full language yet, but sounds, gestures, and signs. These were the first steps towards something that would later set humans apart from all creatures: the power to share knowledge. But life was still brutally hard. Injuries were common. A broken bone or deep cut could mean death, since there were no doctors, no medicine. Diseases spread easily. Even a small infection could kill. Starvation was always near. If food ran out, entire groups were forced to leave their homes. The weather could be merciless. Rains flooded rivers, droughts dried the land, and winters froze the weak. Early humans often buried their own, losing loved ones to nature's cruelty. Every single day was a reminder. To survive here was not human, it was inhuman. Despite all this suffering, humans refused to give up. They faced stronger animals, but they learned to outsmart them. They faced hunger, but they learned to share. They faced death, but they kept moving forward. When the land became too dangerous, they migrated. Step by step, they walked across rivers, deserts, and mountains in search of safer lands. No other creature traveled like them. This ability to move, to explore, to adapt, it became their greatest weapon. Every challenge, every danger, forced them to evolve. Their brains grew sharper. Their bodies grew tougher. Their groups grew larger. They were no longer prey. They were becoming survivors who could challenge even the harshest world. 4.7 million years ago, our ancestors walked a thin line between life and death. They had no weapons, no houses, no doctors. Yet they survived storms, beasts, hunger, and fear. What kept them alive was not strength of body, but strength of mind. They learned to use tools, they tamed fire, they built families, they formed groups. Step by step, they turned fear into courage. This struggle shaped the humans we are today. The story of survival was written in their blood, passed down from generation to generation. Today, we live in cities, surrounded by technology and comfort. But deep inside us, the spirit of survival still burns. It is the same spirit that kept our ancestors alive millions of years ago. They faced predators, storms, hunger, and pain. Yet they never gave up. And because they survived, we exist. The story of early humans is not just history. It's a reminder of what it means to be human, to fight, to adapt, and to survive against impossible odds. This was the world 4.7 million years ago, and this was the beginning of us.
Food! Fire!
They were not yet human, but the journey had begun.